Happy, beautiful day. Lifelong learning, the answer to everything. Over the next few minutes, I definitely want to give you a different perspective of the life lessons I think we all need to learn and how we can ask ourselves some really powerful questions. We're going to go on a little bit of a journey together, and you can kind of see a little bit of a theme here. But what is learning? Well, learning really is about knowledge. And I don't know about you, but personally, for me, school was a waste of time because I learned things that really was not of any interest to me. And I often found many of the teachers fairly boring. They weren't really interested in what they were doing. So it took me a little bit older to realize that learning is about learning something that you can apply to your life to make your life better and make the lives of other people's lives better. So here's a big question for you, right? You ready? What is the meaning of life? That's a big question, right? What if the meaning of life was the meaning that you give it? And right now, what is the meaning that you're giving to your life? How do you feel about where you are? If you really want to look at the answer to everything, I would say the answer to everything is where are you now and where exactly do you want to go? You don't necessarily need to know exactly where you want to go, but we talk about this a lot. Most people, if you could just wave a magic wand and give them what they wanted, they would want to make improvements with their health, their energy, and their relationships. So what do we need to learn so that we can evolve in any of these three areas? Look, we know that a great life, it doesn't just happen. It happens by design. And if we don't choose to design the life that we want, what most of us keep doing is we keep repeating. And if you can see here, I've written this word down, growing. So the word learning means knowledge. What is it that you need to know? What is it you not only need to know, but you also need to be able to do so that you can grow? The fact is that we all are here to grow. From the moment we are born, we have the opportunity to grow, and at the same time we're dying. And this is a really strange concept for many people to get their head around. Where do I want to go? Or where do I want to grow? The man who won the Nobel Prize in 1937, basically won it for a theory that was around something called synthropy. What is synthropy? Synthropy is that every living cell lives for one reason: it lives to grow. But the fact is, the difference between us and pretty much everything else that grows is choice. And we can either choose to move forwards into growth or back into being safe. Some people would take this to another level and say we're either growing or dying. I would say, look, we're all here to evolve. Lifelong lesson, the lesson that maybe most of us, all of us could get our head around, that we are so much better when we are moving towards something. So what in your life do you still want to achieve? What in your life is missing? What in your life have you still got something in you that you want to do? Because if you don't do something about this, what you're settling for is a life of mediocrity. And the word mediocrity means being caught in the middle of a rugged mountain. For lifelong lessons, the answers to everything, I would say it's all about asking yourself better questions. And here is one of the biggest questions of all. We've already done the meaning of life. We're only a few minutes in. Here's a bigger question. What do you want the legacy of your life to be? Now you can see I'm holding a magic wand, and you might have heard of these words, abracadabra. Have you ever heard that before? Do you know what that means? It means I create as I speak. I create as I speak. So what do you in your life want to create? Lifelong lessons, answers to everything. It's really about questions. If we could begin with the end in mind and think about what do you want the legacy of your life to be? So that we're all at your funeral, what do you want people to be saying about you? Because if you could start to think about this, it might wake you up to the fact that, you know what, time is running out, but you still have a chance to make this world a better place, to evolve. These are big, big, big questions, but that's what I am. I'm a coach, and the role of a coach is to take someone from A to B. and we go on this journey together. But in order to go on this journey, we've got to ask some big questions. And this, beginning with the end in mind, this actually comes from Dr. Stephen Covey. We actually have a YouTube video all about him. The 7 habits of highly effective people. And one of those habits is to begin with the end in mind. If you could think about the end and what you want to leave behind, you could do what we call a reverse engineering, where you come back to today and you ask yourself the question, if you want to win, right? Win, what's important now? What is it that you need to do now that if you did every single day, and by the way, the word others really for me revolves around, if you want to do any of this, you're probably going to need some other people, but what is it you want to give other people so that you can give back, so that when you do leave this earth, what is it that you've left behind? We call those things imprints. And maybe right now this video is having an imprint on you, making you go, you know what? That's a big question. Because if you don't ask big questions, you'll ask small questions, you won't get great answers. So, lifelong lessons. What is the lifelong lesson that we should all have in our mind? It really should be about how do we want to leave? What's the mark? What are the imprints that you want to leave behind? If you don't believe me how important imprints are, do me a favor. Take off all your clothes, run down the street, find a place where there's lots of people, and I promise you, you would have imprinted and impacted something on side people's heads. They'll never forget you. But you can do that every single day without necessarily doing something as crazy as that. And please, if you do it, please don't tell anyone that I was the one who asked you to do it. You can move forwards into growth. You can decide to evolve. You can start to create a bigger impact, because that's what you want. Ultimately, it's about winning and thinking about what is the mark that you want to leave behind on this earth. Answers to everything. What is the answer to everything? Where are you now? Who do you want to become? And what are you prepared to do about it? Look, we've got so many videos in this in our YouTube channel. They're all about helping you go from where you are to where you want to be. We believe that everyone's future is unwritten, and you have the power to change. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon.